Licensing is also about trends. Licensing is about trends. There are some long-term, but especially when you look at entertainment. Entertainment is what? It's all about trends. Fashion is all about trends. There's fashion licensing, entertainment licensing, publishing licensing, but it's about trends. And for those of you who perhaps are looking for ideas, that's where you find them, is through licensing. And we'll talk a little bit about sources that you could tap into, but look around you every day. Pick up a newspaper, read magazines. It's all out there. These are all trends that are going on, and somebody comes up with these ideas. How many of you ever had an idea and then saw it appear like 2 years later and slapped the side of your head and said, I thought of that. What did you do about it? Nothing, right? You didn't do a thing about it. Well, why not? Did you know, didn't you have an idea how to go about doing it? Was that the issue? Okay. If you see something out there and you've got an idea for it and somebody else has got that, makes that product or sells that service, well, guess what? You can make a simple phone call and ask them what? Do you do any licensing? Do you do any licensing? If the answer is yes, guess what? You just found your way to tap into that idea. That's all it takes. Do you do any licensing? Worst they can say is no. But if there is an opportunity to license, there's an opportunity to tap into that trend. It's available to anybody. There's no corner on licensing. It's not dominated by big corporations or the government or anybody else. It's controlled by everybody in this room right here. A franchise is basically a business opportunity where you're taking a complete turnkey operation and putting somebody in business that they have not been in before. A license is you make T-shirts and you go out and you get a license for Mickey Mouse. You're just using Mickey Mouse on the current products that you're making. You're not getting into a new business opportunity. That's a simplified explanation for it. Franchising is a lot more complex because of the disclosure laws, but that's a simple answer. I won't go beyond that. If you want to get more specifics, I'm going to refer you to the legal people. But that's basically it, okay? So in the case of licensing and tapping into it, and by the way, when I say that, there are some gray areas there because I work with a lot of people who literally don't have a company. They just work out of their garage. What they do is they constantly are scanning the entertainment horizon. They've got a marketing office set up. They know the logistics. They know how to go get things made. They know where to go meet the retail buyers. And all they do is constantly scan the entertainment horizon to see what's coming up. And if they see something interesting, they make a call. They go in to see the studios. They go in to see the TV shows, and they see if they can get a license on it. And then if they can get a license on it, then they get on a plane and they go to Hong Kong and they come up with some products and they run to the retailer and they present to the retailer. And I mean, that's how it's done. These are people that are, you know, they understand how to tap into these things. And I share that with you because when I worked on a lot of these big properties, probably about 25% of the companies were major corporations. The rest of them were little operations. The only difference is they understood how to capitalize on it. And then, of course, as a property matures and it gets bigger, the things change. But I can tell you on both Power Rangers and Batman, when we were first starting off, it was the first toy company that had Batman started in the garage. Because Mattel, Kenner, and Hasbro wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. They said it'd never work. Question? I'm going a visual in terms of how you would present it, or in terms of identifying trends. Well, for example, if you're watching TV, here's an example I think will shed light on it. Power Rangers was very difficult to sell people because they saw this absolutely horrible production quality of a show that was going to go out and nobody would ever risk their money on it at all. I mean, we were lucky if we got $5,000 for it. And what happened is it finally got on the air, and 6 months later the phone started ringing. And why did it start ringing is because all of a sudden all these people who had kids everywhere started to see these kids all starting to watch this TV show. And it dawned on them that something may be going on, and that's when the phone started ringing. I hope that kind of it gave you an example. I'm trying to use an example of something I experienced with. The point being, when I say tap into trends, you'll see it. If you see it in a magazine, if you see it in a newspaper, if you see it on the movie screen, maybe you have a shirt manufacturer, and you happen to have a niche audience with women, and some of these movies that come out that focus on women, you may have an opportunity to license that movie because you reach the kind of audience that that movie taps into. Does that make sense? Am I helping there? Or okay. Anyway, the point being is you can tap into this. Okay? There's no limitation to it. Nobody's got a corner on it. Nobody's got a monopoly on licensing.